Hello YouTube, this is the Stupendous Wave here with a video today, and this one we're doing another dino battle, and we are doing the Diabolus Rex versus the Spinosaurus. Now, I am using the movie for this. I realize that there's a lot of other true scientific things out there, but I am using the movie of Jurassic Park universe just to let you guys know, because I know that Spinosaurus has a lot of traits that he has outside of the movies, and the size varies as well, and of course the Diabolus Rex is just a movie dinosaur in general. So anyway, now that we've set that up, the field is in a exhibit. It's a closed wall exhibit. It's a closed habitat, so there's walls all around it. There's brush, trees. It's quite a large one, similar to the T-Rex kingdom is what I am using. So it has trees, it's grassy, it has brush all over the place. So that is the battlefield. It's not just an open area. So now that we've set that up, let's get to the good stuff. So let's start off with the Spinosaurus. Now the Spinosaurus is the largest carnivore, or it's said to be the largest land-walking carnivore that ever walked the earth, basically. Although there are some scientists that say that it was able to swim and that it hunted similar to a crocodile, which is really interesting because we did see it swim in the film when it was hunting Dr. Grant and the others on the boat, so that was really interesting. It is also the largest carnivore that we have seen in the Jurassic Park universe, besides the first female T-Rex, who was not as long as the Spinosaurus, but it was actually taller. It was about 4 feet taller when you get down to looking at everything. The female T-Rex from the first movie is a taller dinosaur. So the length of this dinosaur, or the Spinosaurus, is 41 to 49 feet. So we never really got a clear look at it, at its length, or a good reference point, but we can determine that it is between 41 and 49 feet, which is longer than even the first T-Rex from the first movie. Its height is about 13 feet, so it's smaller than the T-Rex from the first movie, but it is still a large dinosaur and is enough to, in total, be the largest carnivore that we have seen in the Jurassic Park universe. So its speed, it is a fairly fast dinosaur, not extremely fast. We saw that people were able to outrun it when they had brush to get to. They were able to get to the brush without being eaten, of course. For a speed reference, I really looked at the fight in Jurassic Park 3 with the T-Rex. I noticed that the T-Rex was able to get 3 attacks in, and the Spinosaurus was only able to get 1. Now the Spinosaurus's 1 attack was a fatal attack, but it was still only able to get 1 in, and the speed is going to be a big factor in this battle. I also noticed that the Tyrannosaurus Rex was able to dodge the first attack from the Spinosaurus when it lunged forward to bite at it. I definitely recommend watching that video, the fight, before watching this. Like I said, it gets 3 attacks in before the Spinosaurus gets 1, which tells me that this is a much slower dinosaur than the T-Rex, but it was able to overpower, although it is, in fact, the smallest T-Rex that we've seen in the Jurassic Park universe, besides, of course, the little baby. It was the smallest, and it was male, which we already know are smaller. You can tell by the green color that it had. So that's also a factor that played in, that it was a smaller T-Rex. As far as the strength is definitely comparable to the T-Rex, and what really gives the Spinosaurus its big edge in this, or an edge in this battle, is its claws. It has fully functioning forward claws. In fact, some scientists say that it was capable of walking on 4 legs, similar to a bear, or that it walked on 4 legs all the time. And it was also capable of standing up on 2, much like a bear. So its claws are what's going to play a big factor in. It's able to swipe, something that the T-Rex was not able to do. And that actually is what pretty much won the day for the Spinosaurus in the T-Rex fight, where it was able to grab the T-Rex's head and just crunch down on that. We also know that it primarily hunted fish and smaller prey, and we know this because it has a longer snout-like thing, a longer snout, and because its teeth are actually much smaller than the T-Rex's teeth. If you look at it, the T-Rex hunted much larger animals, much larger game than the Spinosaurus. We know that the Spinosaurus primarily hunted fish, so it obviously does not have as strong of a bite force. We know that in reality the T-Rex's first bite on the Spinosaurus would have taken its head off, but that's not how it went, and we are using the movie universe. So it does not have that strong of a bite. We also saw that it wasn't able to kill the T-Rex with its bite, that it had to crunch down on it with its claws as well, which will play a factor. The T-Rex does not have, the Spinosaurus does not have as great a bite force as the T-Rex does, which is really interesting and will also play a big factor. Its intelligence was comparable to T-Rex, but it is definitely not on scale with a raptor. The Velociraptor is by far the smartest dinosaur that we have seen, according to the movie universe, and it will not rival that or the Diabolus Rex, because the Diabolus Rex, in fact, does have raptor. So now that we've set up the Spinosaurus, we've named all of its attributes. It's got strength on the Diabolus. It has its front claws. Let's talk about the Diabolus, the new genetically altered dinosaur. Now, this is all mostly speculation of things that we've gathered from what the Diabolus is made out of, the different animals it's made out of, and its size compared to a good middle ground between the T-Rex and a Velociraptor. So none of this is confirmed, but it is probably likely. So we know that, number one, it is an extremely aggressive dinosaur. It causes the most problems in the new Jurassic World movie. It is going to hunt people. It causes all the problems. It causes the park to go into complete chaos. So we know it is extremely aggressive, and it will most likely never back down from a fight. It is about 26 feet long from using the Lego images that we've looked at compared to the T-Rex, and also a good middle ground between the Velociraptor and the T-Rex. I have estimated it to be around 26 to 30 feet long. Its height would be about 10 to 12 feet tall, so that's another thing. So it's not a small dinosaur by any means. It is definitely a lot smaller in length compared to the Spinosaurus, but in height they're pretty comparable. The Diabolus being 10 feet and the Spinosaurus being 13 feet. So they're pretty comparable in height, but not in length. Another thing, it is much, much faster than the Spinosaurus. We know that it's going to be faster than the T-Rex because, of course, it has Velociraptor in it, and the Velociraptor is one of the fastest dinosaurs that we have seen. And if the Spinosaurus, of course, had trouble keeping up with the T-Rex, if you guys can imagine how difficult it will be for it to keep up with the Diabolus, because, again, the T-Rex was able to get 3 attacks in when the Spinosaurus was able to get 1 in, so we can only imagine how many attacks the Diabolus would get in before the Spinosaurus could get 1 in. We also know that it is also fairly strong, so if they were to get into a grappling match, it is still overpowered, but it is not completely useless. It can still bite and scratch, and it also has fully functional front claws, unlike the T-Rex, which gives it a big advantage. It also has the long claw that we know is able to, from the Velociraptor, of course, that it can dig into flesh. So it is a very dangerous animal, and it kind of gets the best of both worlds from the T-Rex and the Velociraptor. So it's no weak dinosaur. It is still extremely strong. It is extremely intelligent. Well, from the Velociraptor side, it's more intelligent than the Spinosaurus because, of course, it does have the Velociraptor in it. It has a potentially venomous bite. That is speculation, but the cuttlefish does have a venomous beak, and the snake is a venomous... I'm assuming that it is a venomous snake as well. Now, with the other battle with the T-Rex versus the Diabolus Rex, I said with the venomous bite, it is a lesser venomous bite because it only has 1/4 of venom, or 2/4 of venom because of the cuttlefish and the snake, and that it would take a long time for the venom to take effect in a larger dinosaur. And this is still the case here. If the Diabolus were to bite the Spinosaurus, it would still take time for the venom to take effect. We also know that the Diabolus rex can blend into its environment from the cuttlefish. It's able to lurk in the brush, blend in really well, hard for the Spinosaurus to pick it out. And of course it's intelligent, so it knows when to stay and when to lure it in and when to attack. So now that we've set up both combatants, let's go ahead and talk about the winner. Now, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, this was an extremely, extremely close battle, closer than any battle that I've done so far. And I have determined just by barely that the Diabolus rex would come out on top. It is a much faster dinosaur. I kind of determined that it will be able to get in 5 attacks to the Spinosaurus' 1 attack, and I just thought to myself, is the Diabolus going to take it out with 5 attacks? And I determined yes. With the venomous bite, since I anticipate a long, drawn-out match, the venom will take effect. Eventually, it will slow down the Spinosaurus, leaving it open for bigger attacks and more deadly attacks. It's like I said, the speed played a big factor. It is a lot faster, and if the Spinosaurus had trouble keeping up with the T-Rex, which we saw, it is definitely going to have trouble keeping up with the Diabolus. We also know that the Spinosaurus is, again, slower and more clumsy. It is not going to be able to pick out the Diabolus in the brush and go after it. The Diabolus would simply just run away and hide again, of course, with its cuttlefish in there. And we know that it has, of course, the long claws, and it is an extremely strong dinosaur. Not on the level of the Spinosaurus, but it's still strong, and I bet you that it could take the Spinosaurus out with 5 attacks. Now, again, this is extremely close because if the Spinosaurus were able to grapple against the Diabolus, it's pretty much a win for the Spinosaurus. But unlike the T-Rex, it wouldn't be a one-hit kill because it has it's not as strong as a bite force, and of course the tail is a lot weaker. I don't want to say weaker, but it's not as long as the T-Rex's tail, which means that would be kind of another problem that the Spinosaurus would run into. So not as strong of a bite force, not as strong or not as long as a tail. I'm giving this to the Diabolus just because it's faster, the venom will take effect, it's smarter, it can hide, and that's just my opinion. Again, very close. When we get more information on the Diabolus, there may be a different outcome, and I will be making more videos once we get more information and we know more about the Diabolus. But anyway, leave your thoughts in the comments. Who do you guys think would win? Are you on the team Spinosaurus? Do you think, hey, he beat the T-Rex, and you said the T-Rex beat the Diabolus, so why would the Diabolus beat the Spinosaurus? Or you could be like, well, the Diabolus is... I agree, the Diabolus is faster, it's more venomous. Leave it all in the comments below. Check out my other videos. I also did the Diabolus Rex versus the Velociraptor and the Diabolus Rex versus the T-Rex. Leave suggestions for more dino battles, and have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe.